Hey, what is up guys? My name is Cartoonz and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be going over the patch 6.2 Frost Mage biggest burst scenario, or one-shot. And one-shot's kind of a broad term that's been used in previous expansions, made for, it used to be where you could kill someone in like one ability, but now that damage has kind of been squished down a little bit, especially for Mage. It does take a lot more than just one ability to do that, but just for the looseness of the term, so people know I call it a one-shot. But yeah, so we have my friend Seconds here, and he's a hunter. He's nearly fully geared, and he also has his pet here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building icicles on his pet, and then I'm going to be using all of them against Seconds a little bit later. The reason why I build icicles is because it got buffed not too long ago, and it actually does do a lot of damage. The mastery, the Frost Mage mastery, where it just builds up a little icicle over your head whenever you frostbolt or frostfire bolts, and then you can just shoot it out at people whenever you use your ice lance on a target. Now, in every arena match you see, I usually will run out unless I'm fighting with a rogue. I'll usually run out in the middle of the match, and then like right at the beginning I'll run out, and then I'll start building icicles immediately. I'll start casting frostbolt immediately on people. And that's so I can build the icicles so that when I've CC'd a target, like the healer or something, and we're about to go on a kill target, I can use all of those icicles and get the most amount of my damage. And that's really important for Frost Mage because it is a lot of damage. It can be up towards of 50 to 70,000 if you get 5 good stacked icicles. But again, I'm going to pop Icy Veins and my on-use trinket here, which is the Badge of Dominance. And then I'm going to start casting Frostbolts really fast on his pet right here, and I'm going to get 5 icicles. Then I'm going to switch targets and go over to the kill target, which would be Seconds in this hypothetical situation. I'm going to Pet Nova him, okay? And then I'm going to Deep Freeze, and then I'm going to Comet Storm at the same time, and I should have all of my procs up by that time. And then I'm going to Frostbolt into him because you get that set bonus, a 50% increase on snared or stunned targets. It's stunned as well. It only says snared, but it counts. And then I'm going to get that 50% increase Frostbolt damage, and then I'm going to Ice Nova, and then I'm going to Ice Nova again, and then I'm going to Ice Lance. And the Ice Lance is going to send all of those icicles out at him, as well as it should set me up for other procs if I have a Brain Freeze proc available from building the procs up off of Spunky here. Or I can use Frozen Orb and get a little bit more damage out, but he should be dead by the time I Ice Lance and my icicles fly at him. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. Again, I'm going to Icy Veins and pop my on-use trinket, and then I'm going to hit this guy 5 times. Okay, so I have 5 of these little icicles over my head. Boom. All right. Now we're going to Pet Nova, Comet Storm, Deep Freeze, Frostbolt into an Ice Nova, into an Ice Nova, into an Ice Lance, and then Frozen Orb and Ice Lance again. Okay, so that was a lot going on, and this does take a little bit of practice to be really fluid with it, but if I go over it one more time for you, then as you can see, I Comet Stormed here, which, as I go over in my 6.2 Mage Guide available on my website, and if you check it out in the description, Comet Storm and Deep Freeze has a really good synergy this patch, since Comet Storm doesn't break Deep Freeze anymore like it did last patch, and it does a lot of damage. It does upwards of 60 to 70k because they always crit. And also, if you do your Ice Nova about the same time, then you should have 5 stacks of Incanter's Flow, and then you can get that Frostbolt off, which does 25,000 damage or so, followed by another 75,000 Ice Lance, and then these Icicles hitting at all times are also doing a lot of damage. You know, it does like 10k a hit, upwards of 17k here, which is a lot, and then I can get those Ice Lances off, which also does 35-ish thousand damage. So overall, it's a pretty good amount of damage, and he did die pretty quickly, so I think that is probably the best case scenario of damage that you can do, is whenever you can do some damage on a frozen target, and then get all of those crits going on with your Comet Storm, your Ice Novas, and your Ice Lances, and then also getting that icicle, the 5 icicle stack going as well. Alright, for the second time, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be popping my Icy Veins and my on-use trinket right here, and then I'm going to be casting Frostbolt 5 times on this pet, this secondary target, and then I'm going to switch targets, Comet Storm and Deep Freeze at the same time, and then I'm going to Frostbolt into double Ice Nova, into Ice Lance, and then I'm going to Frozen Orb right after if he is alive. So, here we go. Icy Veins, Frostbolt, 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 Comet Storm, Deep Freeze, into Frostbolt, into double Ice Nova, into Frost Firebolt, into Ice Lance, into Frozen Orb, and he dies. overall, that was, you know, a pretty decent amount of damage. Again, some things didn't crit, like my second Ice Nova didn't crit there. My Frostfire Bolt didn't hit as hard as I wanted it to, but you know, that is kind of just how Frost Mage is played nowadays. It works a lot around procs, it works a lot around how your encounters flow is going, how it works a lot around everything. But I did want to take a second and explain this new kind of burst type style that you're doing in 6.2 as opposed to 6.0 and 6.1. It has changed a lot because Mage has changed a lot, which is a good thing. That does sum it up for today's tutorial. However, I am happy to announce that I've released my full 6.2 Mage guide, which is available on my website, cartoonz.tv. I've worked really hard on this and I've made a lot of additions and improvements since my 6.1 Mage guide, which you guys already loved, so check it out. And I'll see you all next time. Cartoonz out.
To the day that I'm free, we rep the D, and I see Shawty looking at me. But I got a bum B to the day that I'm paid. I'm talking grade A, full scholarship. Come and get a pot of this Southern boy swag, girl. You won't find a hotter dish. Work hard, but I gotta grind harder till we build that empire. Rhyme like Sean Carter on these tunes. Knox Hill.